I'll bring Wilko in for Wilko's Gig Guy. G'day, Wilko.
Good evening, John. How are you travelling?
Yeah, I mean, when you go to a concert and you know they're about to play their big hit and everyone gets up, but when I was only 19, you can hear a pin drop. It is like a hymn, isn't it?
It certainly is. I've just realised that you must have interviewed John just before.
Yeah, we've just had him on, and look, I know we've interrupted you. I think you're probably cleaning the duck's house or something, but yeah, we've had him on, John, and he's got a show up at the moment up in northern New South Wales. He's on tomorrow night at the Tivoli in Brisbane as well.
Well, I was going to mention that one too, actually. But there are some songs in our history that create that aura, and no wonder that was an incredible song written about an incredible time in our history, and it's a song that we can't forget that song. So all the lyrics in those verses are really fine-tuned to hit the heartstrings, and he did a wonderful job writing that song, and what a credit to him.
Yeah, I want to try and do this perhaps over the next few weeks. Maybe talk to some of the people from some of the great venues that you mentioned, some of these exotic names. But I just want for our listeners outside Sydney, and it might be a lot of people go along Victoria Road in Sydney, and at the moment there's a lot of change and construction happening there. But just down from the Balmain Leagues Club on the left hand side as you head toward the city, there's a pub, the Bridge Hotel. It's been there for a long time. It's on the corner. It's covered in posters for music and for bands, and it is quite iconic. Before we talk to the boss, I said, just give us a word picture when you walk in there as a muso. What is that venue? What do you see? How does it feel when you go in there?
It's a wonderful venue. I've got to say that. For a musician, it's a quintessential venue, really, because the staging is great, the PA system is great, but what it does hold is it just feels like every musician that's ever passed a stage or gone on and performed on a big stage has played in that pub. And we don't have many of those left. In fact, I dare say we don't really have any left, except for this one, because I'm not quite sure how many years, and Richard will be able to explain this. I'm not quite sure how many years it's been open, but it's got to be over 30 years operating every weekend as a live music venue continuously in Sydney. And as you say, John, that the Victoria Road aspect of that, everyone sees those posters on the side. They see those names. It becomes a subliminal advertising sort of situation. And for me, in actual fact, I was in there playing on Friday night. So I love that venue, and I love that Richard and Jen, they've refurbished the place. You look at it from the outside, it looks really fresh. But when you walk in, it's the same place that I've been going to for 30-something years. Yep. And you just feel like you're a musician when you're in there. I love it.
Let's bring in Richard Keough, because this is a venue where the music is the attraction. There are places where the food is. We know about pokies. This is the music that's the attraction. Richard, you can probably answer the question. Good evening to you. How long have you been there for?
37 years, John. I came here in November 1986.
Wow.
And I was going to be here for 18 months and get on with the rest of my life. But we sort of, every pub in Balmain had a band in those days, and it became the thing, and we then sort of moved on as we got lots of acts on every night of the week back in those days. We had a situation where overseas acts started dropping in, and blues acts, promoters started putting blues shows on here, and we'd have international acts from New Orleans, Chicago, and it sort of grew from that organically, really.
Yeah, big no. He had Russell Crowe there, a month ago? I think he was performing with his band as well.
And he was terrific, yeah, and what a great band it was. He was great. 2 full houses for that.
Yeah.
We've had people like Mick Taylor from the Rolling Stones, Eric Burdon, Mr. Etheridge, Warren Zevon, Todd Rundgren, so we've been blessed with the number of acts that we've had from overseas as well.
So do they? I mean, is it now got a reputation? You can help as well with this, Wilko, because everyone wants these people to play in their venues, but because of the mystique surrounding your pub, that people want to play there, don't they?
Well, we've been fortunate. I guess over the years, the number of different people have played there. I mean, the Oils used to do a lot of warm-ups here, and Neil Finn did a warm-up here, and Barnsey. So we've had all these big acts as well as the smaller acts where we did a lot of residencies that helped develop, the acts are sort of, play for a year, 2, 3 years, some of them, and every week. And we'd also have, I suppose a bit differently, was we'd not just a room, we've got another room out the back, we've got a beer garden as well. So we'd have acts out in all those places. So the main act finished, and then you go in the back bar, and there'd be another act playing till 3 a.m. or 4 a.m.
How good. How good.
And that was how we kept people there rather than just in and out of the venue. That sort of became a bit of a scene, I think.
Hey, Richard, good evening to you, by the way. I didn't know you were on tonight. How are you travelling, mate?
I'm great, Wilko. I'm a bit emotional after that last John Schumann interview, and some of the lines in that song, and he was due to go home in June.
Aren't they something? Yeah. It's such a good, it's such a song, isn't it? The power of music, isn't it, Richard? And you're part of it. Did you had to shut for COVID, I'm assuming, so you got through that? Well, you did. Would have been hard.
We got through GFC, we got through COVID because we were one of the first to close because of the numbers and people get basically large crowds in a small space really, and so we were the first to have to close and last to probably come back.
Yep.
And when we did come back, we instead of having 400 in one of the rooms, we'd have 80, and that was the limit. And it was just sort of the bigger acts couldn't do that, couldn't make it work, so we'd have to put other shows on and to try and keep it going. It was tough, and you got the never-ending noise issues that are part of the whole Sydney scene.
Because you have some very loud bands, I see. Because I go past there all the time. Now, this is my question, and you're emblematic of change that happens. There'll be people listening to us right now in a lot of towns through Queensland and New South Wales where they ran businesses and suddenly there's a bypass, and so the people aren't coming through the town, and you've got to adapt to that. Now, for those who don't know, Victoria Road, there's a big project, and the through traffic's going to go under a tunnel. And so the people who've been going past you are now going to be going into a tunnel. So your road will be quieter. There'll still be a lot of cars going past. You think that might affect you, the free advertising you've been getting?
Well, it will for sure, because to a large degree, I think there'll still be quite a few people travelling along there, but it won't have the same impact. I mean, people, it's like as you probably know, a car park here in the morning, and on the way to work, and people just sort of standing there. They can't help it.
Well, you read the posters and you go, I can't believe I'm seeing that name. That can't be real. And you think the acts you've got are extraordinary.
Well, we're fortunate. We're blessed that we've had so many overseas and all the Australian artists, from Diesel and the Jets, the Angels, the Tats, and Choir Boys, the Dragon. Wow. All those regularly play here over the years and still are. And
right.
It is a bit of a we're lucky like that, but
Let's make I'll give you an undertaking. Once it starts, we'll advertise your gigs here to make sure people know when you've got some of these big names or interesting acts coming up. We'll make sure we let them know. All right. Good on you, Richard.
John, that'd be great. We also had those a lot of overseas. A lot of acts where we do theatre shows, as you probably know. Dennis Carnahan, Rugby League the Musical.
I've been there.
We do a bit of everything.
Yeah, the great Dennis Carnahan, Rugby League the Musical. That's right. Hey, all right, Richard. We'll keep in touch with you. We'll make sure that we send the message out. So thank you, because I've got to get on with Wilko's gig guide, or I'll be in trouble. Because I'll be in big trouble.
In a couple of weeks. You started in the back here.
Good talking to you, Richard. You're a good man, mate. There's been many times when you could have probably gotten rid of that venue, and you never did. So look, probably while we're on the line, on behalf of all the musos in Sydney, mate, good on you for holding on that venue, and it's iconic, and we all want to play there.
Yeah, good on you, Richard. Hey, we'll keep in touch with you, mate, and we'll help promote any of those acts that you've got coming up, please. We're always happy to do that and promote live music. I've got to get through this, Wilko, because I'm going to get all these ads in. A lot of them have been put in there by the Duck, and he'll be very angry if I don't play them.
You'll be very upset, mate. He's probably listening now going, hold on.
What have you got, mate?
Okay, so for our listeners on 4BC in Brisbane, they've got a great weekend of shows coming up. American country stars Midland are bringing their brand of the twang to Eaton Hills Hotel on Saturday night. Travis Collins is the opening act there. Tickets available via Ticketek Australia on that one. You've actually beat me to the punch there, John, because John Schumann and the Vagabond Crew are performing the Red Gum Years live at the Tivoli in Brisbane. And after that interview, which I'm going to go and listen to on your podcast, I'm sure that room will be full.
Yeah,
and
he's only about 10 tickets left, he told me earlier tonight, so you've got to get in quickly.
Is it only the one show, or has he got two?
He's just got the one at the
Tivoli,
Tivoli, but he's promising more down the track. We need to give him a bit of a push, I think.
Yeah, great stuff. Well, that's definitely going to sell out now then. So also, look, my pick actually for the weekend, other than John's show, is the Manly Harbour Boat Club. On Saturday is hosting Thirsty Merc. Now, the reason I'm into this one is because they're going to hold the show on the back lawns, on the seaside lawns. So the gates will open at 12 and hopefully be a sunny day up there. You can soak up the sun. 7 p.m, Caitlin Shadbolt will hit the stage, and then Thirsty Merc will be on about 9.
Yep.
And it's tickets via Try Booking on that one. Coming across to our listeners at 2GB, you've got a great weekend again. Shane Nicholson at the Brass Monkey in Cronulla tomorrow night. Glenn Whitehall at Skeeter's Southside in Janali on Saturday night. My pick here, though, Genevieve Chadwick is playing at Seaforth Bowling Club. Now, if you haven't seen Genevieve before, folks, if you're on the north side, please do yourself a favour, as Molly used to say. Jen's an incredible performer. She's at the the Seaside Bowling Club. Tickets available through themanlyfig.org. So please go to that one. And because Richard's been on, obviously the Bridge Hotel is a great venue, and they're hosting Ray Beadle on Saturday night. So that's going to be a great night.
All right, very good. And it's a Seaforth Bowling Club, I think you said, was Genevieve's show. I think that's right.
Bowling Club. There's a couple of new venues there too. So well done, guys, for getting in contact with me.
Very good.
Thanks.
Hey, we'll do more next week. Thank you so much for that. I've got to get on with my ads here, Wilko, and we'll give it to Duck when he finally turns up next week, eh?
If he does, mate. If he does.
Who knows? I mean, who knows what's going on?